What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Path to Platinum. Today we're going to be going over an old classic and one of my personal childhood favorites, Onimusha. And as always, a little disclaimer, I will not be going over any story-related trophies or otherwise unmissable trophies. Missable trophies only up in his house. Now, optimally, this game requires what I would personally recommend to be 3 playthroughs in total, although technically you could do it in 2 playthroughs by exploiting saves. But honestly, for a game of this length, that's pretty damn good regardless, and it makes this platinum a relatively quick, but more importantly, a fun one. I would focus on all the collectibles as well as all the miscellaneous trophies first, get all the bullshit out of the way, and then focus on your no upgrade, no health, and ultimate runs separately. More on that later. But that's just me, obviously. You could do it however you want to do it. Now, typically when there are collectibles in a game, that usually means there's a trophy to get them all. And I like to get the collectibles out of the way first. However, for your convenience, I'm going to showcase all collectibles in the order you can obtain them as soon as they become accessible to you. That way, if you just follow this video, you won't miss anything, and you don't have to go skipping through to set times all over the video. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so the first trophy you guys are going to be able to nab right at the beginning of the game is going to be Falls Flight. So this is a bit of a, somewhat of a Easter egg trophy. And you can officially backtrack to this bridge and trigger it right after you see the cutscene with the samurais running away from the Oda warriors. Right after that cutscene and you get rid of all the zombies, you can come back here. Literally just stand on the bridge and hold circle, which is the soul absorption button, or whatever you have it mapped to on whatever you're playing, whatever button it is, fucking hold it, press and hold, bitches! Do you guys remember, like, old strategy guides? Like literally in, like, the magazines? Like, I used to subscribe to them when I was a kid, and they'd mail that shit to me, and it would, like, whenever you read, like, cheats and shit, it would always say, press and hold circle, hold this circle button, that's what it is for me. Completely adjacent to the tree that the beetle actually crawls up. You can see him right on the right tree there. I found with this one, it gave me a bit of problems. I had to stand in a very specific spot in order for him to actually come out, which was right where I was standing. So I found it was a little strict. You know, finagle it how you need to. Here's the first map that we're going to find. Very easy to find, very right out in the open. Next up, we're going to have our first file and our first fluorite. The file is nicely hidden, tucked away in this little cabinet up against the wall. Kind of suspicious if you think about the dead end that it's in. And for fluorite are pretty tricky at this point in the game because they're literally invisible. You can't see them. There's no way to know that they're there until you get the vision staff, which allows you to see where they are. Here's the next file, by the way. Hidden in the jar, or the pot, whatever you want to call it. Now, this trick box or number puzzle is mandatory. It's one that you actually have to complete in order to advance the story, but some of the number puzzles are optional and some of them aren't. But I figure since there's a trophy to do them all, I'm just going to show you how to do them all anyway, like just for your convenience. Next up, literally right in the next room, we're going to get our first magic jewel. And our first power jewel. The magic jewel is hidden away in the corner here, but you can see the corner of the chest if you look closely. Next up's going to be in the decoder box, and this is our first one. With the decoder boxes, it's pretty nice because, like, even if you don't have the books that tell you the solutions to the puzzles, you can still, like, put them in, and the game, like, won't say, hey, you need the fucking books. Like, it'll let you open it if you know the solutions beforehand. So, it's pretty fucking sweet. Next file is going to be right here. Cut this little board down. There's a lot of hidden shit like that in this game. Literally all throughout the game. Like, there'll be, like, stuff in the environment you can interact with and, like, cut or hit or whatever or click on. And you can unveil things that are otherwise hidden. Here's the next decoder box with yet another power jewel. So we're already pretty well off. Although this is totally cheating. Again, you shouldn't be able to open these right now, but I'm giving you the answers, so you're fucking welcome. You can enjoy an easier, nice, breezy coast through the game. It's gonna be fucking sweet. Next up, another fluorite. This is the second one. It's hidden in the jars. Just, you know, just mash X when you know you're near one. Like, since you can't see it, that's pretty much all you can do. Next up is the next map of the keep. This is where we're going to be spending most of our time throughout the game. There's a shitload of stuff to do in the keep. And this is kind of the main hub room. I find myself coming back here, like, constantly. So, to me, it's like the base of operations, so to speak. You go there to save, to refill your magic, to use the Dark Realm. You definitely find yourself going back to that room constantly. There's your next journal. Moving on. I show little specific locations on the map before I show where each thing is, just so you guys know. Just so you don't have to follow my idiotic voice. Yeah, just click on the shelf there and you'll get that fluorite. Now this room's going to have your second number puzzle. This one is optional, but if you're going for the platinum, you're going to need to open it because the bow is in here and there is a trophy to get all ranged weapons in the game. There's only two, the bow and the matchlock, which is the gun. But that's how you get the bow, and you will need the bow to get a magic jewel, or a power jewel, I can't remember which one. And for God's sakes, please remember to cut that rope. It gives you a power jewel later in the game, after a specific boss. And if you don't cut the rope, you'll miss your chance to get it altogether. So, don't do that. Just fucking cut that rope, dude. And here's what I was talking about. So, you need the bow for this part. You have to have it. There's no other way to save these guys. Because when you come in this room, this event is scripted to happen. And the zombies will fuck up those guys. And if you don't kill them and save those dudes, they won't give you the magic jewel as the reward. Because when you come back down here on the second floor, when you work your way back around, if you just look over here, there's your magic jewel as your reward. But again, if you let those guys die, you ain't fucking getting it. So you need the bow. And also, if you're having trouble aiming with the bow, and you're having trouble hitting the zombies from up top, holding R1 will auto-lock to an enemy automatically. So just hold R1. And then if you find yourself missing each shot, even though you're locked on, just toggle up and down on the D-pad and you'll find Seminosuke aims a little more accurately, and then mess around with it. You'll find you can hit them if you otherwise couldn't. Next up is going to be your first optional armor that you can get. It's pretty easy not to miss this, but I'm showing you anyway, just in case you're fucking stupid. Because that's what guys are for, right? For idiots like me. Yeah. But it's okay. We're all idiots. We're all happy idiots. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. I probably unnecessarily showed more of this than I needed to, but I'm doing it anyway to give you that thorough step-by-step guide. So, you know, go ahead and pull the lever on the right here. Oh, never mind. That's how you get the armor. You have Kaede pull that lever. Okay, so, yeah, but, yeah, I guess that's it. I was going to warn you about the arrow falling on your head if you pulled the wrong lever, but I guess it's not important. I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Next document. This one's a little tricky, if it's your first time playing, and you're not familiar with the tendencies this game seems to have, but this ladder's a little tricky. You can click on it, and then it's like, do you want to, where do you want to go? And it's got like multiple options for you, and then you gotta cut this secret fucking thing for the thing, and that's how you get that. And again, like, that fucking scroll that you had to cut to unveil the document, it was like, it blends in so well with, like, the natural look of the game, like the walls and shit. So it's really hard to tell. Like, if you never played this game before, it's very easy to miss that stuff. At least I think, anyway. I only figured this shit out because I no-lifed this game when I was a kid. Literally would play for hours and hours and hours, doing stupid, nonsensical shit, and finding out, like, oh, I can't believe I did something, like, stuff like that. Perks of being a kid and having unlimited free time to waste your life away on video games. That was my childhood, easily. But there you go, your next power jewel, your next document. We're raking in the goodies. We're doing grand. Next fluorite, it's gonna be hidden right there. By the way, you're gonna notice my movement here is a little retarded and all over the place. Like, I'm nonsensically, like, spastically moving very slowly and in random directions. Reason for that is because when I was recording this is actually footage from a live stream that I did. I'll put a link to it if you guys want to check out the live streams if you're interested. But anyways, I streamed my entire course, journey of playing this game, like, start to finish, getting all the trophies. That motherfucker always gets me every time, pisses me off. But yeah, I was playing that part with one hand, because I was like, I think I was eating while streaming, so I was like eating with one hand and playing with the other, which is why I was moving all nonsensically. In case you're wondering, yeah, fun fact! It's pointless, but hey, all fun facts are, right? Maybe not all of them. Some are better than others. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So here we go. Next document. It's happening. There's a shitload of fucking documents in this game. Easily the most bountiful collectible that you can get. So they're annoying. Making this was definitely annoying, but I did it for you guys. Because I give that much of a shit. Look at these 3 books all right next to each other. I find, like, stuff you can actually pick up is, like, noticeably pick-upable because it's, like, a different texture than, like, the background scenery. So it's most of the time pretty easy to spot an item that you can pick up. This is just, like, a thing that was a thing in old games. Especially Resident Evil games. Like, if you guys are familiar with Resident Evil games, like, if you played the old ones, where, like, the fixed camera angles and shit, you'll feel right at home in this game. Like, and you should be able to figure out pretty much everything, all of the shenanigans and tricks that this game has up its sleeve. You can pretty much figure them all out just by using Resident Evil knowledge, I find. Because this game is very similar. That rosary was all you needed. It's a completely optional item. You don't even need it, but there's a trophy to get it. So I just showed you how to get it. You're welcome. Fluorite. There's another one. Again, completely invisible until you get the Vision Staff. It's fucking annoying, but you know, who's gonna fucking get all the way to the Vision Staff, which is like way later in the game from now, and then run all the way back here like an asshole to get the fluorite? Actually, some of the fluorite becomes like, you get to a point where you just can't backtrack anymore. And you cannot get the fluorite. So I'm pretty sure some of the fluorite you can't even get once you have the Vision Staff. Like, if you haven't picked any of them up until you get to the Vision Staff, I'm pretty sure some of them you missed can't be obtained anymore by that point. So it's like, you can't possibly use the Vision Staff to get them all, because, yeah, some of them you just can't backtrack to, as I said, and, like, they will be missed for the entire playthrough, which is bullshit, by the way. Like, why is the Vision Staff even in the game if you can't even use it to find them all? It's retarded. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Next number puzzle. That samurai was a bit of a dick, but we dispatched him with haste. And there you go, blue key. That's another mandatory chest, I believe, because you need that key to advance. And there's a fluorite in the Iron Maiden. Creepy! Here's your next fluorite. This will be when you become Kaede. You can nab this as you're running by, right in the corner there, by the blue plasma door. There's a ton of shit to get with Kaede. Both times you become her. And that's what's so dick about it, because if you miss the shit as Kaede, you miss it for the entire playthrough, because you only get to be her twice. And both times you can't backtrack. Like, you can't come back to areas you've already done with her. There you go. Cut the trees. Very easy to do. Just run up against the wall in this room, and you can cut the trees for an easy trophy. I don't know why that's a trophy, but okay. Next decoder box. Another magic jewel. Pretty nifty. We've already opened 3 decoder boxes. There's only 4 in the game. For some reason, I remember there being more. Oh, well. Makes it easier on us, right? I find that all the time with old games. Like, I remember them so difficult when I was a kid, but that's because I just sucked ass. And then when I come back to them, I'm like, holy shit. These games are way easier than I remember. A bunch of files in this room. It's crazy. Look at them all. They're all over the goddamn place. You need the cog to get through this door. That's mandatory in order to advance the game, so I won't bother showing you how to do it, because we're just here for trophies. Optional shit. Blah, blah, blah. I gave you the disclaimer at the beginning of the video, so you better not fucking be upset. Or I'll be upset. And we don't want that. Moving on. Next fluorite, right behind you. Let's go. And there you have it for this room. But then there's more up ahead on the opposite side of the west area. Because stuff. Another fluorite hidden on the whatever that is. I don't know, a barrel, a bucket. Whatever, doesn't matter. Now apparently, I've looked up guides like for this game, like other trophy guides that people made, specifically the Power Picks one, because that's the one everyone uses. And the guy said that this number puzzle, specifically this one, to get the Sacred Knife, is unmissable. And he said there's no point in covering it, because it's unmissable. Like, he said, he specifically wrote story related, and I'm like, but I swear you can miss it. Because you don't need to go in that room and open the box. The only point in doing it is so that you have a way better weapon than her default knife, which sucks ass, so you can kill enemies a little easier. Now, this is a bitch. You have to flip over him, and then use Kaede's special attack, which will one-shot the enemy. It's really tricky to do. It took me many attempts. I find, pro tip, if you're having trouble with this, definitely save before you attempt it, because you can actually end up killing all the enemies, and then they stop despawning, and it becomes a huge pain to actually get the trophy. That power jewel right there wouldn't be there if you didn't cut the bucket, so that's why I told you to do that. But yeah, and with Kaede, you just have to hold L1 forward and square, and you'll do like a front flip over your enemy, and then you just run up to their back, and if you're perfectly angled, you hit square again, and then you execute them. So that's how you do that. Cutting this wagon here to kill the enemies will net you a trophy, but you actually have to do it because there's a fluorite underneath where it was positioned, and you have to run to where it was to go pick it up, which you couldn't do if you left it there, so you had to cut the rope. But, yeah, Kaede's special attack was definitely really tricky for me. It took me many attempts. Again, I definitely recommend saving before attempting it, so that you keep trying. Because, again, you can only, once you play the Kaede segments, like, they're done. You don't get another chance, so. And I find it's easier to do it on her the first time you play as her. Also, this guy, Barabazu, he's technically the only optional boss in the game, and he's not really a main boss, he's more of a mini-boss. But there is a trophy to kill him, which technically, again, is missable, because if you didn't want to fight him, you could just run through this entire room, looting all the items, and then run out. You don't have to kill any of them. But there's a trophy to kill him, so obviously you're going to want that. And it's fine, I mean, 2 rooms before this, they give you a magic refill fountain, which you could use to refill all of your weapons' magic power, which makes killing this guy a bit of a joke, because you could just spam your magical attacks on each one of your weapons until he's dead. He does hit like a beast, and he's huge, so he's pretty hard to evade. You definitely want to be good at, like, movement in this game, like, if you're struggling with him. But again, he's fucking easy. Like, look at this. You can just spam magic attacks over and over, and he can't really do anything. Like, for the most part, if all your weapons are maxed out by this point, you will definitely have more than enough magic power to kill him with just magic attacks. Loot, like I said, remember to loot everything in that room, because you get a statue head from one of those chests. And you need it in order to get the matchlock, which you're about to see. Also, yeah, a lot of these optional areas require you to have level 3 orbs, so just, you know, remember that. Obviously, do a lot of grinding, grind for souls if you need to upgrade your stuff, if you can't get to the rooms that you need to get in. Easily remedied by just killing shit. But here you go, you walk up to the statue, you use the statue head, again, you get it in the room with Barabazu. I forgot to record the footage of it, which is why I didn't show it, but that is where you get it, fact. So, just remember to get it. I mean, who would see a chest and not open it? That's my argument. Like, if someone's stupid enough to miss it, it's their own fucking fault. Anyways, there's the matchlock. That would net you the trophy for all the long-range weapons. And last fluorite in the west area. I left this last because it's might as well show some getting some of the fluorite with the vision staff. This document is, I mean, you can't miss it because you have to click on the door in order to go forward, and you need to go this way in order to progress. So I don't know why that document's even there. It's retarded. But you can't miss it, so I don't count it among the files, which is why I didn't put a file counter. If you notice in the top left, I've been keeping track of all the files. I didn't put one for that one because it's technically unmissable, so I don't count it. Cut this scroll to unveil a hidden map. Fun fact, when I did my first playthrough, that was the only map I missed, and I didn't get the trophy, and I was so pissed because I totally forgot to go in that room like an idiot. But it happens. Hey, we get lazy, you know, less attentive. It happens. Happens to me a lot. What's that? Doesn't happen to you? Fuck you. Moving on. So we're gonna head up to the roof here. We got a magic jewel. We're gonna get another power jewel right next to the corpse there. And a fluorite. Thanks to the vision staff, we can fucking see it. Isn't it great? There you go. We Gucci. That should be your last power jewel, by the way. So at that point, you can max out your health. This room, you have to come in this room in order to move forward, so you can't miss this. But if you walk up to the fish here, stand right next to them, and just hold the circle button, we have yet another Easter egg trophy. He gives you a small health soul, and you get a trophy for it. Pretty sweet. Thanks, fish! Next up, we have knocking an enemy down the waterfall. This is a missable trophy, because you can only do it at this part. And yeah, just lure him, like, kind of piss him off, like aggro him. Run up to him, like, on the bridge when you first enter, and then once he starts walking towards you, just let him walk in the middle of the bridge so that you have time to run around, cut the rope, bada bang, bada boom. Second last number puzzle in the game. This one is going to net you, this one's also optional, and it's going to net you your last piece of armor that you can get, which is the best armor in the game. And that's going to get you the Armor Collector Trophy as well, which is pretty nifty. Pretty tall. Fuck, it's sweet is what it is. The gray armor? Also, why is the gray armor better than the holy armor? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't they have, like, reversed the names on those two? Just saying. I feel like holy armor would be better against demons, so it should probably be named for the best armor, no? Yes? I don't know. I don't work for Capcom. I don't make the decisions. Now, we're at the second time playing as Kaede. Use the Shinobi kit to get to this secret area that Samanosuke can't get to because he's not a ninja. Poor bastard. But hey, he's a fucking demon-killing samurai. I would take that over a Naruto any day. Nah, I'm just kidding. Kaede's not that lame. But she is kind of lame. She's pretty boring, in my opinion. She kind of sucks, actually. The side characters were way better in Onimusha 2. Kaede, like, I didn't give a shit about her. Anyways, moving on. Completely random opinion of mine that I'm sure is going to breed haters. Feel free to say whatever you like in the comments. If you got a bone to pick with me, I want to hear it. There's another fluorite. We almost got all the files. Pretty fucking sweet. You get them all, I believe, as Kaede in the second time playing as her, I believe. So, yep, this is the last file. So you get the trophy for that. Pretty sweet. Again, these are all solutions to the decoder boxes, which, you know, we already opened them all, so we don't need them. And then fluorite, get that. Now, the last 3 fluorite are in the demon realm, or the dark world, the dark realm. Whoopsie! Mixing up my names here. This is a mandatory number puzzle. You have to open it, but there you go. Solution, you're welcome. But, yeah, the dark realm has the last 3 fluorite. But I'll talk more about that later. Now, the thing is, if you're going for your no health trophy, like to complete the entire game without using a health, I don't recommend doing the Dark Realm in the run that you choose to go for that trophy, because the Dark Realm's a bitch. And it's pretty much the only time it feels like you have to heal, because the Dark Realm is pretty challenging. It's definitely the most challenging thing in the game. None of the bosses, like, compare in terms of, like, difficulty, in my opinion. So, like, you actually have to be good at playing the game and good at fighting if you want to do well in the Dark Realm. So I find that's, you know, tricky. Whereas, like, with most of the bosses in this game, you could just kind of go ham without thinking. There's the second Mothman location. I didn't have the footage, but there he is. This is where you find the first one. He's in the keep, in the main HUD room that I like to call the base of operations, as I spoke about it before. Once you get to this point in the game, he will allow you to visit the Dark Realm, which is what you're seeing me do right now. And there is 2 trophies to complete all 20 floors. There are 20 floors in total. And as you see at the bottom there, I wrote a quick pro tip. Every time you see chests, always loot them before you exit to the next floor, because then you'll miss your chance, and you could miss your fluorite, so always be attentive before you actually leave the floor. First fluorite is on floor 5, second one is on floor 12, and the final fluorite is on floor 17, as you're nearing the end of the Dark Realm. This is when shit gets really hard. Start getting the really pain-in-the-ass enemies. There's our trophy for all the fluorite. Pretty fucking sweet. That'll also unlock you Seminosuke's alternate skin, so you get that trophy. You only need 10 fluorite to get it, though. Final floor gives you the Bishaman Ocarina. Once you beat the Dark Realm, you'll find this door right after the Marcellus boss fight, and also just before the final boss fight. You could go ahead and use the Ocarina at this door. It'll open a secret passage, and you'll be able to grab the strongest weapon in the game, the Bishaman Sword, and there is a trophy to get it, which is completely optional, because if you didn't do the Dark Realm, you wouldn't be able to get it. So that's how you get that! Pretty fucking sweet. Your efforts are totally not in vain. The Bishaman Sword is fucking awesome, and it, like, pretty much one-shots all enemies. Almost. And it fucks up Fortinbras, which is the last boss. Seriously, you kill him, like, way fucking faster when you have that thing. Here's the last map, just literally sitting on the floor, can't miss it. And that's the last one you will end up getting, so there you go. Now for some miscellaneous trophies, now that we finished all the collectibles. So, there's a trophy to deflect Marcellus's final form, which means when he has the 2 swords. My tactic here was to just run as far away from him as possible, spam the block button, and then mash the attack button when he got close. And you'll just get lucky. Mono a mono, you have to beat a demon in a struggle. You could easily enter a struggle against this enemy. The second, you know, all you gotta do, I just recommend just run up to him, mash the attack button, and he will eventually just block you. And then you'll enter a power struggle with him. Then what you want to do is mash the shit out of square, L1, and R1. Mash them as fast as you fucking can, and you'll beat them. I'm not saying it's easy to do. It's actually a pain in the ass to do, and it took me quite a while to get that trophy. But that's how you get it. Here we go! Bonus mode, Oni Spirits. There's a trophy to do this, and you will need to complete it in order to unlock Ultimate Difficulty, which is a trophy. So you have to do it. This is the first level, very easy. Just some pro tips, quick tips, some tips and tricks for you to get through Oni Spirits. It's probably the most difficult trophy in the game, technically, alongside Blunt Sword, Sharp Mind, which is the trophy for beating the game without upgrading anything. This is probably those are probably the 2 hardest trophies to get in the game. First round's easy as fuck. Literally just mimic what I'm doing in the rounds, and you'll get through it. But yeah, some basic tips for strategy in Oni Spirits. You know, when you see enemies, typically, depending on which enemies they are, you want to run up to them and kill them as fast as possible, ignoring all the jars. The requirements to complete Oni Spirit rounds: you need to absorb enough souls, you need to break enough pots, and don't die. That last one's pretty fucking obvious. The blue jars will always have a health soul, so you may want to, you know, if you're about to die, fucking bull rush them, or if you have plenty of time and you don't want to waste the health orb, you could save it. I like to run up in this round, grab the gun, shoot that guy right away, and then you have more than enough time to get rid of this guy before he breaks all the pots. Interesting thing about the enemies in Oni Spirits, they will completely ignore you if there are any pots. They prioritize pots over you, so that's something nice to know. Like if, for example, that samurai, you don't have to worry about him grabbing you and choking you out like he would in the main game, because he'll literally never go for the grab because he's never aggroed to you. So, like, all enemies will try to do is break pots. They're not going for you. So you can do whatever you want to them, which is pretty sweet. You have, like, total freedom to kill them however you want. As long as you're quick here, this round's easy. Get rid of the ninjas as fast as possible. The first few rounds are really easy. They don't require that much explanation. Every time you get a new weapon, remember to equip it right away. Same goes for armor. Always equip it as soon as you get it. Typically, following the strategy, you'll want to do exactly what you see me doing here in the same order. And this will go well for you. Also, don't waste your magic all willy-nilly because you'll need it for certain rounds in order to complete them. Your magic is definitely vital towards completing the rounds. This one you want to start up, knock out this guy on your right away with a magic Enryu attack. Take him out, finish him off. That way he's not fucking up too many of your jars. And then just go ham on the next guy. Like I said, they will completely ignore you and only go for jars, so you don't have to worry about getting hit. And if you do it quick enough, you have more than enough time and jars to complete the round. Like I said, again, or like I was trying to say, if you're near full health, don't absorb a health soul. Don't waste it. Wait till you're like really low health before you absorb it. It's totally fine to let the souls float around. You don't have to stress out too much about absorbing them in time. Just let them float around. It's completely fine. This round's a little tricky, but if you're absolutely as fast as you possibly can be, and you need to have Enryu equipped, because Enryu has a horizontal slash, and you could destroy all 3 jars in one swing. So you run to whichever side you want. I recommend running to the side where whichever zombie starts running, as opposed to walking. That's the side you're gonna want to go to first. You don't have to kill these guys, just knock them over. Open the chest, you'll get Shippu, and then you could quickly equip it, destroy all the jars with its magic attack. Easy. And as you can see, we already met the quota. As long as the number at the bottom right says 0, and there's still jars on the map, like, it's totally fine. You'll have met the quota. As long as it says 0, that's always good, because it means you'll win. You still have to break the rest of the jars in order to advance, but as long as the number says 0, you don't have to worry about losing. Destroy those jars with a magic attack as fast as you possibly can, because if you let those guys roll around, if you give them any time at all, they will fuck up all your jars, and you definitely don't want that. So just take them out as fast as you can. As you can see, we've already met the quota, even though there's a bunch of jars left on the left there. But we're pretty much good. Even if they destroy them, it doesn't matter, because you already met the requirement. You can move on. If you're ever nearing low health before you're finished a round, never be afraid to use a herb. That's what they're there for, so that you don't die. I only needed to use 1, I believe, so I did pretty damn good. We're nearing the end here. This is when it starts getting really harder. Strategy here, you want to make your way to the guy in the back as fast as you possibly can, which you could do very easily with Shippu, because it attacks very fast. And then just take him out. You want to kill him as fast as possible. You don't really have to concern yourself too much with the floaty fuckers who take your souls. They're not that big a deal. And if you took them out fast enough, you have more than enough jars to complete the mission, so it's pretty great. And here was where I needed to use a herb, because the asshole absorbed my health soul, I believe. That's what happened. And, actually, I'm not sure if this round gives you any health at all. like in terms of health souls, so you may have to use a herb there. Same as me, I would think. It's possible. I wasn't paying attention, or I'm wrong. Now this round's bullshit. If you walk up too far or too close to the samurai, like if you walk up too far ahead, the 2 3-eyes will spawn. Now I ran up too far, and that's what happened to me. Now, if they spawn, you're pretty much fucked, because they just go for the jars and will likely destroy them before you can get there. But I got insanely lucky. The 3 I missed, and I beat the samurai to the one he was swinging at. And it was amazingly lucky. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was phenomenal that I won that round. But, again, you don't want to run up too far to spawn the 3-eyes. You can knock the samurai over with Enryu without getting close enough to spawn the 3-eyes. So you just want to do that a little better than I did, and you should be good. Basic strat here to use Shippu to break as many pots as you can, as fast as you can. He's totally fine. You'll have all the jars broken around him before it even matters. And you just fuck him up. You don't even need to. If I had ran bottom left and killed the jar, I wouldn't have even needed to kill him. So I don't know why I did. But I did. Don't question me. I'm the guide maker. I'm the one making the video. Everything I do is fine. Because it's in the video, motherfucker. Alright, so I can't remember what I do here. I think I just Shippu? Or no, I Enryu first and then I Shippu. So that clears a path for me to get a better angle on the pots. Because now I can run in there, like deep in there, and destroy like as many as possible. It's just more optimal for destroying the maximum amount of pots that you can get. And they destroyed a couple of the pots right at the end there for me. But again, it didn't matter because I already met the quota. And that was the last round. Easy. Easy peasy. The only thing annoying about Ogre Spirits, or Oni Spirits rather, is that if you've never played it before, you pretty much have to trial and error and like play it over and over and figure out how to do each round, which is a pain in the ass. Easily the worst round is the one with the 2 3-eyes. That round could go really shitty if you get unlucky. So it may take more than a few attempts to complete it, but it's definitely doable. Oni Spirits is actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing that mode. It was great. An important pro tip, as soon as you finish Oni Spirits, you will unlock Ultimate Difficulty. However, it's going to ask you if you want to save your game or your progress for your results on the results screen. Definitely fucking say yes. If you say no, it won't record your record, and then the game basically won't know that you unlocked Ultimate Difficulty because you didn't save your record, so the game has no way of knowing if you beat it, and then it's like, oh, and then you don't get Ultimate Difficulty. So, and you don't want to do all of Oni Spirits again. That's a huge pain in the ass, so fucking definitely remember to save. Holy shit. Okay, now that we covered all of that, there's only one thing left to talk about, so let's talk strategy. To elaborate, I'm going to go much more in detail on what to do for your playthroughs and how to optimize them. The first trophy I want to talk more about is None for Me Thanks, which is a silver trophy that requires you to complete the game from start to finish without using any healing items. Now, just because you're not allowed to use items doesn't mean you can't heal at all. There are obviously health souls dropped from enemies that you can use, and these won't fuck up your trophy. In order to heal rather consistently, whenever you're running low on health, it's a great payoff to land a critical strike on an enemy, as it will always one-shot your opponent, unless it's a boss, and when the enemy's defeated, they are always guaranteed to drop a health soul, no matter what. So it's a surefire way to get health back, although it's a high-risk, high-reward system. Still, this is very doable, especially if you're saving your game all the time. You can always retry if you die. Lastly, to all those I know who are wondering about whether or not the talisman counts as a healing item, it doesn't. So you're good to go, you can use it. It won't fuck up the trophy. Next trophy I want to talk about is going to be Blunt Sword, Sharp Mind. This is that other trophy I mentioned earlier that might give people a bit of trouble. This trophy requires you to play through the entire game start to finish without ever upgrading your swords or using any jewels, aka the power jewels or magic jewels. Now what's nice about this trophy, much like the no healing trophy, is that it's very specific. You can't upgrade your swords or health or magic but you can exchange your souls to upgrade your ammo and health. But more importantly, you can upgrade your orbs, which will enhance the damage your magic attacks do, so that's nice for bosses mostly. That, and given the fact that you can run past almost any and all enemies throughout the game, this trophy only really gets hard on the final Marcellus boss fight. He's easily the hardest boss in the game, and if you don't have a good handle on the combat system, fighting him without upgrades is a bit of a cunt, I'm not gonna lie. But here's where things get interesting. Now, because I didn't want to get these trophies on 2 separate playthroughs, I played through the entire game without upgrading anything, as well as never using health, right up until the point where you have to enter the Demon World and fight Marcellus for the last time. Once I got there, I made a backup save. I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with this. Proceed to beat the game, using health and items as needed, and you'll get your trophy for no upgrades. This will make Marcellus and Fortinbras a hell of a lot easier being able to heal. Then, once you've done that, reload your backup save right before Marcellus. Then, go grinding for souls from enemies, and max out your weapons, or your health and magic if you want to go grab the power jewels as well, and the magic jewels, be my guest! You still won't be able to heal because you still need the no health trophy, but having your weapons and health maxed out certainly makes things a lot easier. And there you have it. It's a nice cheesy way to get out of having to do both runs separately. And you get your trophies ASAP. It's a win-win! And last but not least, that leaves Ultimate Difficulty, and honestly, this mode is a bit of a joke. It doesn't raise the difficulty in any way, like you'd think it would. Actually, it does the opposite. You start the game with the Bishaman Sword from the word go. From here, proceed to one-shot everything that has the audacity to stand between you and your Platinum Trophy. Although there is unfortunately a little more to it than that. You'll need to clear the game with an S rank for the trophy Pronimusha. To do this, you'll need to beat the game in under 3 hours or less, have absorbed a total of 55,000 souls during the run, and have killed at least 600 demons in total in said run. Complete all 3 of those challenges, and you'll get an S rank. Easy, right? With the Bishaman Sword, you're damn right it is. That's why we waited this long to attempt the S rank. Ultimate Difficulty makes doing so more than possible. Your total playtime is easy enough to keep track of. Every time you save your game, it shows you your time, so you don't have to keep a mental note of it. As for souls absorbed, your gauntlet maxes out at 50,000 souls, so once you see this happen, once you visit the magic mirror, you'll know you only need 5k more, which doesn't take that long, trust me. The only tricky one is keeping a note of your total demons killed, as there's no way to keep track of it. Because of this, what I would recommend doing is, when you're going for your S rank, just like before, save before the final Marcellus boss fight, and don't save again between then and Fortinbras. That way, you can go and finish the game, and the results screen will tell you all your stats. If you're missing kills or souls, then go ahead and load up your file back before Marcellus and pay a visit to the Dark Realm. You'll get plenty of kills and souls in here, and you can replay it however many times you want to make up the difference. Then, when you're comfortable, beat the game again. You can still easily do this within 3 hours, no problem. The Bishaman Sword makes it not just possible, but pretty fucking easy. Once you get your S rank, you'll unlock Kaede's alternate outfit trophy, along with every other trophy you're missing if you've been following the guide to this point. And that's it, that's every trophy in Onimusha Remastered. There's your platinum, hallelujah! It's a fucking party! You're welcome. Now for my personal rating overall, I give Onimusha Warlords a 3 out of 10 difficulty level when it comes to the platinum. This platinum is very easy to get. I literally got mine in a couple days, so I expect it'll be more or less the same for you guys. The only people who will have trouble with this one are the ones who don't have a firm grasp and understanding of the combat system. If you master movement and critical attacks, then you're good to go, and nothing in this game will prove overly challenging for you. Although I still had a lot of fun with this platinum, as it is one of my favorite childhood games, and I do love this game very much, so I don't see this as a reason to bring the quality of the game down. It's still worth playing for sure, but hey, to each their own. If you judge the quality of a game based on its trophy list, then that's your call. And with that, I'd like to say if this video helped you guys out, I would really appreciate it if you guys liked and subscribed to my channel. I have other Path to Platinums, not just this one. And I also love to record me going for Platinums in real time with live streams and such. So if that kind of thing interests you, then definitely check out my other videos. Who knows? You may like what you see. Or you'll fucking hate it and I'll say, why the fuck you watching, bruh? But anyways, that's a common war for another day. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I will definitely see you in the next one.